A lot of people have been asking me if the storms in California mean that the drought is over. Well, I've got some good news and some bad news.
The bad news is because there isn't actually a specific moment when a drought starts or ends.
Then there really isn't a moment when we get to declare victory from a drought. But the bigger issue here is that droughts tend to be defined by their impact over the long term. In some places, that could be a single season of dryness that wipes out a crop. In other places, it could be many years of lower than average rain.
What we've been seeing in California has been a nearly 2-decade span of lower than normal water.
And a drought like this doesn't get broken with just 1 month of heavy rain.
After 5 years of some of the worst drought, we had 2 really nice breaks in 2017 and 2019, followed by more dryness.
So while it's too early to declare victory over the long-term drought, we can celebrate some of the encouraging numbers we're seeing for this year.
Snowpack in California is currently at above the historic peak.
That means that today, in mid-January, there's as much snow as there typically is in mid-March. And it's reasonable to think that it's going to keep on snowing.
Lake Shasta has risen 11 feet since the beginning of the year, and 2 feet over the weekend. This is good because all that snow in the mountains will eventually melt and run downhill and replenish reservoirs and aquifers.
And this brings us to the good news. Because of the dams and reservoirs of the American West, whatever extra rain or snow comes down in those higher elevations are able to be stored for next year.
If dams like Oroville, Shasta, and Trinity weren't here,
then all that snowpack in the mountains would just run off to the sea, making this truly a one-time event. This is the whole point of our reclamation system, to capture water where and when we have too much of it, and allow it to be released and transported to where we do need it, when we need it. Now, there's still a long ways to go.
Shasta is still below where it normally would be this time of year, although Oroville's doing a lot better, and Don Pedro down south is ahead of schedule.
There's no way to know what the future holds, and it's too early to say that the drought is over. But there is one thing that we know for sure. No matter how bad the drought gets, and no matter how badly the effects of climate change have played on our weather and our water cycle, it would all be so much worse without our dams.